Welcome to Educational Leadership Internship, EDU695. I'm Dr. Hazeltine. I'll be working with you through this course, which, as I'm sure you know, runs the entire year. So this runs simultaneously with other courses that you may be taking right now at Cornerstone. This course is very different from all of the others in that you are going to design it for yourself in a large way. We've given you the structure and framework, and you can use that framework however you wish to create projects that are most meaningful, most helpful to you. So the core of the course is built around 4 quarters that come in the middle of about 7 weeks or so. And during those quarters, you're going to be working with a mentor that you're going to need to find who will help you design a project that is really useful for you and useful for the school where you work. So our hope is that this is going to be a very practical course. It's going to be a hands-on course, but we also want it to be something that's going to stretch you, that's going to move you beyond simply being perhaps a classroom teacher or a curriculum coordinator into something that's more advanced, more complex, that will prepare you for leadership of an educational institution down the line. So always be looking for things that are a little bit outside your comfort zone, a little bit beyond what you've typically done in the past. I've had students in the past work on things like budgeting that they didn't know anything about or never had an opportunity to do. Hiring of teachers, evaluating teachers, running professional development workshops, all kinds of things. We've given you a list, and I'm going to show you on the screen here if you'll follow with me. Assignment resources is a section where I put all these goodies for you. The mentor handbook is something you're going to need to go over very quickly, review it, make sure you understand what's in it, and get it to your mentors. For each quarter, you're going to want to make sure that they have the mentor handbook so that they know, as your mentor, what their role is. And they're going to be working with you and guiding you through this process. My role is, after having created the structure, is to evaluate your reports and products when you're done. So at the beginning of each quarter, you're going to present a proposal outlining what it is you intend to do. And then when your quarter is done, you're going to take that same document in the second-hand column, the right-hand column. You're going to explain what it is you actually did. How did it go? Did you encounter problems you weren't expecting? How did you resolve them? And then in addition to that report, you're going to upload the products that you've produced and created during your mentorship. So it might be a spreadsheet, or might be some brochures or PowerPoint presentation or other documents that you created as part of doing the project that you are working on. And all of that will go into my evaluation of, how well you've completed the assignment. The ELCC standards there are the next one down, and that's a standard for educational leaders in terms of the programs that universities like Cornerstone are to ensure their graduates can master. And so you need to be familiar with those. And then right underneath that is a document, the ELCC standards needs assessment. And what we want you to do is to take that self-assessment, go through the standards and evaluate for yourself, like, what is it that you need to grow and improve? Where do you need to expand your skill set? And using that guidance, develop your proposals and your projects from that. We want it to be very practical. We want it to be something that's going to help you specifically. Internship ideas, just a massive list of things that other students have done in the past. I updated it this summer with new ideas, because every quarter someone comes up with something I've never seen before, so I've added those in. One of the first documents you're going to complete is your year plan. So this is your rough outline, very basic, of what you hope to accomplish over the first 4 quarters, and that's due very early. And then your proposal and project template, that's that 2-column document I mentioned before. You complete the first one before you start a quarter. I need to approve that. I need to be confident that, yeah, this is really good. This is going to work on a higher set of skills for you. It needs to be clear enough to me that this is going to accomplish the objectives of the course. So get those in early. You're better to have them in too soon than too late, because sometimes I send them back to students and say, hey, I need more information about this, or you need to change this or add this in. It doesn't seem to be too much robust enough, or perhaps it's too big and you're not going to be able to accomplish it. Activity log template. just a place where you can record the time that you're spending. It's an honor system, but indicating in, say, 30-minute, 1 hour increments what you're doing on various days during the quarter. You must have at least, you can't combine the entire quarter and say I spent 20 hours doing this. So that's not okay. But each day that you worked on it, just log what you did that day. Sentence or two is fine. I've given you an exemplary log, so it shows you the kind of thing that we're looking for. This is the really well done one. Giving you an exemplary proposal project report, so you can see what that looks like. And these aren't perfect necessarily, but they're very well done. Certainly A level. And then for your mentors, this is a common problem students face in this course, which is getting the recommendation letter from your mentor. You probably have a principal, some busy administrator, and they're happy with what you did, but they don't want to take the time to write a letter. So I've given you a recommendation template that you can personalize. You can give it to them and say, here's what it is. This is what I've done. Can you edit this, make it your own, personalize it, complete it, and then it has to be done on school letterhead. So their recommendation needs to be signed, dated, and on school letterhead. Then you can take a photo of that, upload it as a PDF, and we're good to go. So I know those sometimes don't come in on time, and I understand that. And a number of the things in this course may be subject to the schedule of your school, and so they don't necessarily happen when you wish they would. But so I am flexible in terms of the deadlines that we have. But keep me in touch, okay? So if things are not coming in when they're supposed to, it will be late. There will be a discount of 10% or more, depending on how long you take, unless you've made arrangements with me. And so you want to have confirmation. Send me an email. Hey, could I have an extension of, and give me a time rather than just I can't have it done by now with no deadline. Give me a new deadline. If I accept that, then you can extend it without penalty. The monthly discussions are basically updates of what you're doing, and you get to see what other students are doing and encourage them, affirm them, suggest ideas for them. They're not questions that I've generated. It's just let us know how you're doing. We call them monthly reflections. Those need to be done by the deadline. So there is a due date. It's usually a few days after the end of the month, so that people who have posted towards the end of the month have an opportunity to get some replies from others, and you can post your replies a little bit after the quote due date. But there is a due date. So after the end of the month, I should say, not after the due date, but there is a date, and discussion forums then close after that. Anything beyond that does not count. I liken a late discussion post to entering a classroom in a traditional setting where the bell is rung, all the students have left, the professor's gone, and you walk in and you share your thoughts. No, it's too late. So end of the discussion forum is the end of the forum. That's it. And so make sure you get those done in a timely fashion. Now, this course goes over the entire year, and that's easy to lose track of it and forget that, oh yeah, I have this project that I've got to be working on. So those monthly reflections kind of remind you that, oh yeah, I haven't done much this month. I need to get caught up and start working on this. And sometimes, as I said, you will be held up by the school schedule, snow days, or, now we have COVID-19 that just can throw a monkey wrench into everything we try to do. So I understand that. I will work with you. Just keep me posted. Let me know if you need some help with something. I'm glad to do that. And then as we scroll through the rest of the course, I'll close that assignments. Unit 1, that's due in a week. Just a couple of things there. Your first thoughts and reflections, your needs assessment. And Unit 2 is your year plan. So you have a couple of weeks here, but you've got to have that year plan in place. As far as how I grade, I tend not to use rubrics except for a guide for students. That's where I find the value of a rubric, is just telling you what am I looking for. But rather than giving you a number that's related to some sort of general thing, I try to comment in your documents and give you a lot of feedback about what is done well and what isn't done well. I expect excellent writing for any graduate student. So if you don't write well, you better talk to somebody who can edit your work, get that as well done as you can. Unit 3, this is the same for all of the other units. Units 3, 4, 5, and 6 will be very similar. Your monthly reflections are here. Your first quarter activity log, which you will submit at the end of middle of October. Your first quarter project report will be submitted, and then you'll submit your second quarter proposal at the same time. So that could actually come sooner. I might move that up and make that earlier. You want to get your proposal in before you're done so that you can, I've had a chance to read it and give you feedback, and you can get started on it as quickly as you can after your first quarter project is done. So I think I'm going to move that up. I'm going to move those earlier in the list so that you realize, oh, that's the next thing I need to get going on is my next quarter proposal. And then finally, getting your first quarter mentor recommendation in. So that's the next 4 units. And then we go into the final unit, which is basically a professional development plan paper. And it's based on those standards in the ELCC standards. And there's an introductory page and a summary page, and then 6 pages in the middle that focus on each standard. And you talk about how are you developing the ability to meet those standards through courses, through experience, those kinds of things. So kind of a self-reflective paper about your own professional growth. That's the course. I hope it all makes sense to you. I am just an email away, but I do use this forum here, the course, what I call a course forum, for everything. So there's not multiple forums for announcements and questions, and one forum covers everything. So if you have a question about the course, put it here. Only use email for confidential things where you personally need a deadline or you don't understand a comment that I made to you on your work. Otherwise, just put all the questions here, because I always find that other students benefit from those. This is the one forum that you are subscribed to, so you will always get any questions or any announcements from me will come to your email. And if you don't check your Cornerstone email, I really highly recommend that you set up forwarding. I never look at my Cornerstone email because I have it set up as a forwarding. So anything that comes into my Cornerstone Gmail is automatically forwarded to my personal email, and there's a label with it that says it's Cornerstone. When I reply, because I use Gmail, from my personal email, it automatically replies from my Cornerstone email address. So it looks like it's coming back to you from Cornerstone. It'll have my Cornerstone signature, those kinds of things. That way I never have to worry about multiple email accounts. Highly recommend that you do that. Anything else, feel free to post a question in the course, and I will be glad to address it. I wish you all the best. I'm glad to be a part of what you're doing. I did put a welcome letter in the course forum already, so you can read that over to help you get started. And then you're on your own for the next little while. Take care. God bless.